Hello, my name is Clayton and I film battle rap. Battle rappers rapping at each other. I just watched La La Land, so I'm feeling hella inspired, so let's just get right into this. Myself, along with the rest of the Ruin Your Day team, have filmed multiple battle events for multiple leagues all across the world, and I thought we could start a series of videos covering the production side of battle rap and why we make the decisions we make. My goal is to try to help illustrate to you some filmmaking fundamentals and how they apply to the world of battle rap. I'm going to be using some videos to help show you some previous examples of work that we've done using the techniques that we're talking about. So with that being said, let's just jump right into the first topic. In this video, we are going to be talking about the 180-degree rule, what it is, how it's applied, and how you can get around breaking the rule. Anyone who has dabbled with filmmaking at all, this term, they should know right off the bat. This is one of the basic principles to filmmaking, and even though it's one of the first things you learn when establishing a shot, there are certain events that leagues throw that tend to break this rule. So let's jump into what is the 180-degree rule and how it's applied. Looking it up. Okay, so according to Google, the 180-degree rule is a basic guideline regarding the on-screen spatial relationship between a character and another character or object within a scene. So basically what that means is it's a rule applied in a setting with multiple angles and multiple subjects, whether it be people, objects, whatever, to ensure continuity within the scene. Whenever you're shooting a scene, you don't want any distractions. You don't want people to feel jarred by an image or a cut. So you want the scene to be as fluid as possible, and the 180-degree rule will ensure that for you. To help visualize this, I'm going to use a battle that most battle rap fans have already seen.
Those look like Tom Cruise mom shoes.
Anyways, Cannabis vs. Dizaster is a really good example for this rule because we have this amazing crane shot that we can just pause right here. This shot not only allows you to see the battlers and the audience, but it also shows you the respective positions of the camera crew. So this will help us break down exactly how they're set up and why they're in the positions they're in. The first thing you're going to do when establishing the 180-degree rule is establishing your line of action. A line of action is essentially an imaginary straight line drawn between a subject and the item they are interacting with. By looking at the scene from overhead, we can take the line of action right through Canibus's line of sight through Dizaster's line of sight. This establishes a solid line of action, and we can now determine the 180-degree rule. The 180-degree rule states that once you place your camera on one side of the line of action, the other cameras must also fall on the same side. As long as both cameras stay on this side of the line of action, you'll be a-okay. Let's take a look at another battle to help establish a common orientation between battle rappers. So in a battle, there is always a left-oriented battler and a right-oriented battler. The battler on the left faces right to address their opponent, and the battler on the right faces the left. This principle will remain true throughout the entire battle, regardless how many angles are present, as long as the line of action is not broken. Breaking the line of action will leave you with an image called a reverse cut. A reverse cut causes the shot to look flipped from its original position. The battlers are no longer facing the direction of the dialogue, which interrupts the fluidity of clips. Compromising the fluidity of a battle causes the audience's eyes to fight to follow the conversation, which is obviously what we do not want to happen. And there have been certain instances where it is okay to break the line of action. The most popular example I can think of is a battle between RemyD versus Pass. The reason you can break the line of action with that battle is because there was only one cameraman. Whenever you only have one cameraman, there is no 180-degree rule, there is no line of action. This is the exception to breaking that rule. As you can see, these two battlers move around a lot. They continuously change their line of sight in contrast to their opponents. However, since the single camera showed itself crossing the line of action, we are now within a new 180-degree plane. Performing this crossing the line is allowed in productions with multiple angles, but it's risky. Once the camera crosses the line, it must show itself crossing back to the original side to prevent a reverse cut. Now that you know what the rule is, I'm going to show you 2 clips. I want to see if you can identify which clip follows the 180-degree rule and which one does not. Clip number 1.
Earlier I took a smaller dump like a Tonka truck. That was a lot of yuck, but that wasn't near as gross as when you pulled a Donald Trump. Woo! Please try not to touch.
Clip number 2.
Earlier I took a smaller dump like a Tonka truck. That was a lot of yuck, but that wasn't near as gross as when you pulled a Donald Trump. Woo! Please try not to touch.
The answer was clip number 2. Clip 1 showed the camera over the right shoulder of the right-oriented battler, which would place us on the wrong side of the line of action. Battler on the left should always be looking right to address their opponent, and vice versa. That's about the easiest way to spot if the shot follows the 180-degree rule or not. But that about wraps it up. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you got a better understanding for the 180-degree rule and why we place cameras where they are during battle rap events and why we don't place them in other places. So if you have any idea of topics you want me to cover or any questions you want answered, please just leave a comment down below and I will see what I can do. Our social media and a link to every battle shown in this video is in the description. Hit like, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends. And until next time, I will see you later. Bars over everything.